back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a get it or forget it on the new Lorac Mega Pro 3 palette. So the palette's actually going to be releasing today, the day I put this video up, which is going to be October 2nd. And I actually was able to get it early because I am a platinum member, I believe it's called, at Ulta. So they did do a pre-release for it last week. So I'm actually wearing it today on my eyes. So I did get to test out the formula a little bit, and I want to do some swatches for you guys. This palette is normally a pretty hot item whenever it comes to the holidays. This is the third one that they have done. So I wanted to go ahead and get a review up for you guys if you were trying to decide whether to get it or not. So anyways, if you are new to my channel, then welcome to my channel. Make sure before you leave, you do not forget to subscribe down below. That way you're notified for future videos from me. I do post twice a week, so I post on Sundays and Wednesdays. And every now and again, I throw in a couple bonus videos. So yeah, I'm excited to show you guys some swatches and really tell you like my first impression on the palette, because you'll see. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into the video. And another thing is, I do always forget to say this, but please give this video a thumbs up if you like this get it or forget it series that I'm doing here on my channel. That way I know to keep doing it. Okay, so this is the packaging that it comes in right here. It has all the colors in it, which I really like that you can see it on the box. And then it just says the Mega Pro Palette 3 limited edition, Lorac Los Angeles, and then it has, you know, the price, which is $59. And then on the back it just tells a little bit more about the palette. Look how beautiful the packaging is. It's white and rose gold and it's beautiful. So anyways, when you do open it up, I have fingerprints all over it, but you do get a nice size mirror, and then you have all of the eyeshadows. But let's go ahead and get into the swatches. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this in four. So I'm going to do 4 across, then 4 across, 4 across, then 4 across, and we'll do it that way. So at first touch, they are extremely smooth. This is what the first 4 shadows look like. You have pink cream, tan, pecan, and walnut. So this is what the first of the left side of the palette looks like. So very beautiful blending transition colors. And these two are pretty similar. So this is going to be the right 4 on the top row. So starting with this color right here, you have Dusty Mauve, Violet Gray, Eggplant, and DK Navy. And I'll be honest with you guys, this one right here is the one that I'm wearing in my outer crease. And it's really crazy to me how dark it shows up when you swatch it on your finger. But then once I went to apply it, it was really not that dark. So here is that next row. So there are the 4 colors, and I really like this row, and I like the like purple mauve tones. Okay, so that was this row right here at the top. Next we're going to move down to this row right here. So these are like my least favorite out of the palette. Right here you have Crepe, then you have Toffee. The baby blue is called Mist, and then this one right here is called Vintage. Okay, so here are those colors right here. I don't know, for some reason like these just don't speak to me at all. So this one, you know, is kind of a little bit patchy. I tried to actually swipe over it a second time. The Toffee is really nice. It kind of reminds me of Peach Smoothie, except honestly when I blended it in today, it really blended it away. And then you have Mist and then Vintage. I'm hoping like once I get my room finished, I'll have a lot more room to like do different swatches for you guys, like maybe on my arm or something. I feel like it's kind of weird when I'm just like, yeah, right here. But I really want to like show you guys up close, so that's like the best way I know how to do. So here is the second row all the way to the right for the last of the matte shades. You have Hickory right here, Bark, Maple, and Jet Black. So there are the swatches right there of those colors. As you can see, they are pretty pigmented and they do look really smooth and creamy. Now we're moving on to this row right here, which is your first row of shimmer shades. Okay, so here's the first row of shimmer shades. You have Snow, Kava, Cider, and Bellini. Oh yeah, these are really nice. Okay, so here are those shades right there swatched. As you can see, they're really pretty. They all show up really, really well. That Cider color is really pretty. That would look so good with like a burnt red or burnt burgundy like in your crease. Oh my gosh, I think that would look so good. Okay, so here is the next row. You have right here is going to be Deep Fog, Glacier, I'm not sure how to pronounce this one, and Brown Sugar. Look at those shades swatched. This one right here is my favorite. So here are those shades kind of up close and personal. As you can see, beautiful metallic colors. Okay, let's move to the last row. So right here is the very last row that we will be swatching. Gosh, look how messy the palette is already. Oh, the rose quartz is beautiful. So here are these shades right here. This one right here is called Rose Quartz. Then you have Rust, Pink Bronze, and then Tule. Okay, so here are these swatched on the hand. I love these shades. I think they're so pretty, especially this color right here. Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. So here are the last four. This olive color right here is gorgeous. Okay, here are those swatched right here. The very last row all the way to the right. Okay, so now that we have saw the swatches, let's go through pros and cons, because like I said, I did actually use this palette today and I did try out a pretty good amount of the colors. Okay, so as far as the pros of the palette, you are paying $59 and you are getting 32 shades. Now, if you don't know a lot about Lorac, they do make the Lorac Pro Palettes. They look like this. And they come with a row of matte shades and they come with a row of shimmer shades, and you're basically getting 2 of these. This year's packaging is absolutely gorgeous. I love the white with rose gold. I don't know if you guys have ever saw the other Lorac palettes. Here's what last year's looked like. It was in a blue package, and here's what last year's colors look like. So this one by far is my favorite packaging. I don't know, I wasn't a big fan of the blue, and then the one before was a red or burgundy. So this one by far is my favorite packaging. I think it's really nice. I like how thin it is. It's really good for traveling, and I do really like that you're getting both. So you're getting 2 full rows of matte shades, and then you're getting 2 full rows of shimmer shades. So it is a really good bang for your buck if you look at it that way. I know it's a pricey palette, but you are getting basically 2 of the Lorac Pro palettes. I love the variety that you're getting in this palette. I mean, you have really great tones that you can wear every day, all the way up to this really crazy blue color that I'll probably never wear. The olive color is really nice. So you have a lot to work with. You can create so many looks with this palette. This palette pretty much has, I mean, anything you could ever want. I like the color selection better than I liked last year's, because I feel like this is so wearable. Not that last year's wasn't, but this one is just more neutral toned. It's more everyday basic colors, and then you have fun pops of colors that can still be worn on a day-to-day basis, which I just love. And the colors are really pigmented. There's not any of the colors that I swatched that didn't show up, and honestly the consistency of all the shades in my opinion are the same. None of them were dry, none of them were patchy. They were all very creamy and blendable. And yeah, those are all the pros that I can think of. As far as the cons go, so I did wear this palette today, and the one thing I noticed is you do get a ton of kickback. It's almost every shade that I used, whenever I swirled my brush in it, I did get a lot of powder kickback, which I'm not sure if that's super normal with the Lorac shades, because I don't typically use those shadows. I have them in my collection, but they're not ones that I grab all the time. I cannot be one that's gonna sit here and be oh yeah, as soon as I put them on, they were super great and super pigmented. It took me a little bit to be able to get this eye look. I really had to sit there and keep going back in the palette and switching colors. So for me, that was kind of irritating. And then my only thing with some of the shimmers, so this shade right here, which is gorgeous, and here's what it looks like on the finger. They're just kind of powdery. They're creamy, but they're definitely powdery. So here it is swatched on my hand, right? And it's super full and metallic. Well, as you can see, my eyes, this is the shade that I have on my eyes. And the problem is I feel like some of these shades, they look really crazy pigmented, but then once you put them on your eyes, they almost die down with the color. They almost, I don't want to say that they're bland, but some of them aren't as pigmented as I would like them to be. They don't hold the pigmentation. They don't hold the bam. Does that make sense? For instance, the darker purple shade, I really had to blend that up. And this shade in the palette is really dark, and on my eyes it's really not as dark as I would like it to be. So that's all I can say really as far as the cons go. You are getting a lot to try out and the consistency's there. My only thing is some of them I really had to work with, especially some of the lighter shades. Not gonna lie, like the top row, I had to blend in 3 colors on my crease just to build the pigmentation. So those would be the cons, just because I feel like, I mean, look how beautiful that is. And then on my eyes, I just don't feel like it shows up the same. And I feel like since they are powdery, that a lot of the pigmentation can blend away once you put them on your eyes. If you want a good bang for your buck, I think this palette would be really, really great for someone who wants a palette that is very neutral, very wearable. You can wear this every day to work. And on top of that, you can switch it up, throw you some darker shades in there, make it more nighttime appropriate. If you're a beginner, I think this palette would be really good because it is very neutral, which I do really like, because I feel like a lot of times with the holidays, a lot of companies come out with like crazy looking palettes. So this one's going to be geared towards someone who wants like more everyday looks, something that's very, very wearable. And you do get a ton of product as far as mattes and shimmers. You're getting both combined into one. So I really, really like that. Like I said, the only thing I don't like is I feel like some of them just don't show up. They're not as vibrant. So if you're someone who wants a shadow that you are just going to dust it on and it's just going to be like bam, blow you away, I don't think this palette's going to do that for you. Like for me, when I think of the way I want shimmers to come out on my lids, I think of Makeup Geek or Natasha Denona shadows, and the shimmers for me are not comparable to those. Once I put them on my lid, I feel like they do kind of like dull down. So like I said, this palette's really great if you're someone that wants like neutral tones, that want to stay in the neutral family, and you don't want a palette that's going to be like super bold. And if you are someone who likes palettes that are like crazy and bold, then I don't think this palette would be for you. Overall, I think it's a really good palette, and if you've had your eye on it, I would say to go ahead and pick it up. The only thing I can say is some of the shades you are going to have to take a little bit more time with. I don't know if that's just really Lorac shades, but a lot of them are kind of powdery, so you're going to have to keep building them on. So if you're patient like I was today, then I won't say it's a big con, because I did achieve like a look that I think is really wearable, but they aren't bold like I want them to be. So if this was a palette that I was going to like ask for like Christmas or the holidays, then it probably wouldn't be something that I would put at the very top of my list, just because I like palettes that are just bam in your face. Does that make sense? I hope I'm making sense here. It's a good palette if you want something that's neutral and wearable, but if you want something that's really going to blow you away for the holidays, then for me, like, this was not it. I think the shades are great, but it's not something that like overall I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to have it. Get it, forget it. It just depends on what kind of palette you're looking for, if that makes sense. So I hope this video was really helpful. I'll leave the link down below if you guys want to pick it up, because it is going on sale today. And I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.